Hi, my guest of the day is Dr. Gaurav Hirey. Gaurav is a digitech communication and media professional. He runs a bootstrapped HR tech startup named as GoEvals, which essentially helps employees screen and evaluate candidates better. Gaurav, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
For how long have you been running GoEvals?
Well, actually, GoEvals was founded only last year in December of 2019. Prior to that, I've worked in multinational companies in India and outside for over 20 years plus in the function of HR. And I've held multiple roles, at the global level, country level, and even regional levels. I came back last year from Singapore. That was my last place where I was based, and founded GoEvals in December of 2019.
Wow. I mean, and now is the time to do the whole digital piece around employment, right? What's your
Yeah.
take on this?
Well, absolutely. I mean, see, digital has been critical to companies, for their even survival today, right? I mean, it's and for the last decade, we've seen a huge focus from CEOs and business leaders on getting digital with their business. GoEvals, just to also mention, is basically an analysis-based AI-enabled HR tools platform, and we offer tools, intelligent HR tools and people management tools across the whole employee lifecycle. So it's not just selection. We also look at feedback and satisfaction, and we also look at organization performance. And we believe that the pandemic has actually just driven home the point that all organizations need to focus on technology, and they also need to focus on people. And I
Right.
think GoEvals is going to be that solution.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the need of the hour. The question, very pointed question that I wanted to kind of ask you was, uh, in the whole hiring cycle, how does GoEvals fit in? I mean, would you want to believe that GoEvals can screen the freshers in a better manner that the technology companies have been able to do it in the past? How does the GoEvals platform set it into the HR whole hiring process for now?
Yeah. So I'm not sure, how aware you are about HR tech. Now, most of these companies which offer solutions, even including the IT companies, they offer solutions in the form of systems. They have huge systems, Oracle, HCM, SAP, SuccessFactors, Workday. These are like really established HR systems which offer solutions end to end. However, there's a huge challenge in terms of implementing these systems. It takes a lot of time. It takes a special skill set. It takes special abilities for the HR team to be able to roll this out across the whole organization. Now, what GoEvals does is we believe that you cannot take human out of human resources. You cannot say that my system is going to run my HR. That's not going to work. We offer tools which are easy plug and play tools. Basically, our selection tool is such where we actually evaluate applicants and candidates on competencies, and we give a compatibility index test report, which essentially is defined by the user.
And this
So
this cuts across from freshers to experienced ones, or are you? I mean, because I know a lot of companies who only solely focus on fresher hiring, maybe because there is a volume there. How does GoEvals work with a lot of tech companies, a lot of HR tech solutions?
I'm sorry, Rohit, I could not get your question.
The question that I'm trying to ask is, does your solution, the platform, can work across the hiring process? So starting from hiring to upskilling to training to multi other faceted. Like you spoke about one or two of them, engagement, etc. Does that work across the domain, or only helps? Yeah.
Yeah, so we are basically use as per your need kind of a platform. So we are offering multiple tools across each employee stage. So if your focus is on hiring, then we are offering something called the compatibility index test, which is actually a patent pending tool which has been developed by GoEvals team. And we are offering a video interview platform, which today is extremely critical, given that hiring managers don't want to meet everybody, and they don't want to put themselves also at risk and the candidate. So these are the two tools that we've just launched. The compatibility index test allows hiring managers to define what they need in for a particular role. So they define the competencies and they select two compatibility elements in those competencies that they need for the role. And what GoEvals does is we have like I mentioned, it's a patent pending. We have developed a test. So we actually have questions that are asked to the candidates. The candidates take those questions, and instantly there is a real-time analytical report that gets generated that measures the compatibility of that candidate against the role defined by the client.
By the client. And
Yes.
these questions can also be customized by the clients, or do you offer libraries as well?
So we offer libraries definitely, and because that's something which we must do. However, our compatibility index test is a patented test, so we don't. We these questions or these competencies are designed by GoEvals, so those are fixed. However, in the tool itself, we have a section which talks about client questions, my questions, where clients can ask their own questions, and then there is a third section which actually makes this tool more impressive, is that we allow the clients to ask a video question. So you can actually ask the candidate two video questions, which you would normally ask the candidate when you meet them. So what really happens is when the candidate gets the test, they take the compatibility test, they answer your own questions, and then they take your video questions and record themselves, and that gets submitted and is instantly delivered to you. So you actually, have a face to the name. You know whether the candidate can communicate well, whether the answer is relevant or no. You have a compatibility report which actually measures their competency against the role. And then you have your own answers to the questions that you'd like to ask. So it gives you a full rounded view on the candidate. It also gives you an evidence whether the candidate is right or no. And today, I think that has become very critical simply because a lot of people don't, they spend too much time trying to find the right talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and GoEvals will really help in that area.
Yeah. And could you also talk us through the technology stack that you would have used to build uh, uh,
Yeah.
GoEvals platform?
Right. So actually, GoEvals is built using Node.js. I mean, we consider PHP and Java, but we thought Node.js being the latest technology. That's the one that we should be going for. So it's extremely responsive and extremely smooth flowing across all mediums. Whether you use it on a mobile phone or you use it on a on a laptop or even your tab, you'll find it that the user interface is extremely smooth and flawless.
So a lot of effort has gone into building GoEvals platform, as I see.
A year.
And can we also get a sense from, since you've been now working with lot of HR heads, so to say,
Yes.
is how has a pandemic impacted their hiring? And the reason I ask you this question is because their hiring essentially also impacts your business. So how has this pandemic panned out? When do you think they believe, or you believe, things will become normal again in terms of hiring and all?
Well, the pandemic has caused an unprecedented situation, right? I mean, never before have we faced this. In fact, somebody told me that this is a black swan event. So nobody has experienced it in the past, and now everybody's learning on the go. And obviously, the economic situation is not good. So it was not as good even before the pandemic, and with the pandemic
Absolutely.
coming, it's really slowed things down. The pace of growth has dropped drastically for all companies. We have seen layoffs across sectors. Yeah, there are only few sectors that are doing really well, like the agriculture and the basic maybe logistics to a certain extent. Um, However, this is going to be a long drawn process. The recovery is going to be painful and slow. While there are a lot of people who have this wishful thinking that things will be normal in the next 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, I don't. What our understanding of the situation, talking to our clients, is that this is going to take some time. They are already lowered their numbers in terms of hiring. They are already very cautious about hiring, right? And everybody is looking for experienced talent. They're becoming more choosy. They want the right person now, which is understandable simply because you have remote working, so you want people who already know what is to be delivered, and they can independently deliver the role and the results. So, but my sensing is that by the second quarter of next year, which is I think April, May, June, there should be some sort of a
Sanity coming back to our lives.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, I don't want to scare anyone, but we've already seen a little spike in demand already this
Oh
month.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. But I think this is basically everybody coming back in and saying, okay, now let's just prepare, because there is a lot of talk about the vaccine coming out, and things opening up, markets opening up. A lot of countries are now allowing international flights. So I'm guessing it's a reaction to that. But I feel that by second quarter of next year, things should be a little better. However, I'm not sure whether they would be at the same levels that we would want them to.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So two more quarters to go before we actually get a sense of what's happening.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And from a business perspective, Gaurav, uh, what are the markets that you are targeting from GoEvals perspective? While India,
Um,
I would assume, being a large market, would always be there, but
Yes. So currently our focus is obviously India, because we've gone live with our tools just about 3 weeks ago, and we already have clients signing up. And however, our next focus is to focus on Singapore and UAE. So we are already in talks with partners in UAE and Singapore and even Thailand. These are the top three markets in Asia that we want to, sort of launch in the next 6 months. So by March or April of next year, we would like to have at least one or two of these markets going live with GoEvals, and then we will use them as hubs. So then we reach out to the markets through these hubs,
so India followed by Singapore and then Thailand
and UAE, Dubai.
and UAE, Dubai. Yeah, the whole MENA region, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. My last question to you would be, the whole HR tech is just about exploding now. Yeah. Where do you see the growth coming from for players like you, the technology solutions providers like you, coming in future, maybe 24 months from now? Do you actually think, sir, where will there be a day in GoVal's life wherein users can pay themselves to evaluate themselves before applying to a corporate? Would you see that happening?
Absolutely. I mean, we already, internationally, there are a lot of these certified tests which are required for certain skills. Yeah. And those are recognized across, like the TOEFL, so you already have some tests like that. Assessing candidates before hiring them is extremely critical. I know that within Asia, it is not, it's not very highly used. But if you go to Europe or you go to the US, yeah, you'll find that they do a lot of pre-assessment testing of candidates. And I think it is only a matter of time that even Asia follows that. And especially now with the pandemic that has happened, I think the realization that having the right people in the right roles and who can deliver, the results is probably more critical. And obviously, interviewing candidates, selecting them is going to be an area of focus from now on. So I believe tools like GoEvals and all the other tools that are tech tools that are available would definitely be able to contribute positively to this shift of way of hiring that's going to happen now.
Right. Yeah. 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 So thank you, Gaurav. We've overshot the time. Thank you for interacting with us. I look forward to speak to you separately very soon.
Sure. Thank you, Rohit.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
me.
Bye. Bye.